Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I've been moving from San Diego to Utah, so now I'm currently in Utah. I'm here with my girl Elysia, my little Dominican princess. So as an update, I'm currently 34 weeks. The girl's huge. Look at that side profile.
She's
As for symptoms, I've been getting Braxton Hicks, out of breath as usual. I can't really sleep at night. I pee a lot, but I mean, I'm almost done, so that's that. But to dive in, I want to introduce Elysia. We met in Boston, and
we were roommates our first year in college, and then I decided to get married, and I got 2 beautiful babies. And even though our lives kind of went separately, she was in school, and I was doing my own married thing. We still stayed really good friends no matter how much time went apart, and I was like, this is a good friendship. So now she's back in Utah, I'm in Utah, and it's perfect.
So today I want to talk about disciplining a child, or just beatings in general, because the past couple weeks I've been observing kids stressing out, blood boiling when I've been around toddlers and all this stuff. So I want to kind of discuss what I would do with my kids and what we've been through, because we're from, we're Americans, but our parents are from, well, she's from DR and I'm from Haiti. So I kind of want to discuss that.
So we're from the same country, basically. Jamaica probably's on one side and Haiti's on the other. But I'm second generation American. So my parents are actually born here and were raised, and I was also born and raised here, and have amazing parents. But growing up, I actually had some pretty bad beatings. I was beaten as a child, mainly from my mother. They had gotten pretty bad at points where, DSS was involved, but
DSS, me too, on the low.
yeah. But things were cleared up. I still love my mom, and she's amazing. I just think she had a hard childhood as well, that it reflected in how she raised me. I think the counteractive, where my dad never laid a finger on me and was always about how I'm feeling and how things are going. So I had like 2 ends of the spectrum. It was either harsh and really messing with the mind, and the other where it was like, you need to nourish, and you need to be nourished and grow beautifully and things. And so it was a little weird, but for the most part, I think it was what I needed to be the woman I am now, even though it was very difficult. One thing that I think from the beatings I've learned is how to forgive and forget, which is why I think it was beneficial for me. I have an easier time forgiving and forgetting. So, when I was young, when I got to school, I was like, I don't care what the heck is going on at home or what happened. I just got hit on the way home. I'm in school. I want to have fun. I want to be with my friends. I'm learning. It's just forget about what's going on at home. So I did so much of that, I forgot of my beatings. And in the end, I think I appreciate what I went through, even though it was really hard.
I feel like mine's a little different. It's more of like, it's the same thing. It's about respect. You can't really do certain things with a Haitian parent and expect to, let it slide. Like, my mom would always say, like, okay, if you did something bad in school, you're going to get it when you get home. And, like, honestly, on the way home, like, you just literally just want to die. Yes. Honestly.
Yes.
And so, I lived with my aunt as well growing up, and it was more harsh then. I had brooms, cords, spoons, forks, shoes, all types of stuff.
Weapons.
It was just, honestly, it was really bad, and it kind of instilled this fear. So still to this day, I get kind of scared when my mom just says my name.
You do not disrespect your parents.
Don't. It's really intense, and opposed to that, my husband, he's from Ethiopia, but the shirt, given that, he never gotten beaten, and it's just like, I don't understand.
Yeah.
As for Haitian and Dominicans, those beatings were real. They were intense, and it instilled this fear. So it's kind of one of those things where I don't want to do that with my child. I want her to be able to at least confide in me and talk to me whenever she wants to do something. Honestly, I don't have that much patience, so I might just have to smack somebody up a little bit, because I really don't have patience. I really don't. And it's definitely going to be something really difficult for me, because I don't want her to be scared of me.
No, and one thing, I also had another adult, or a couple adults during my upbringing. My mom had boyfriends, and my dad was dating, and then actually ended up getting married before I graduated from high school. And having that additional adult within my life also really helped me, because, you know, they would definitely never lay a finger on me. And so to have that kind of parents where they would never lay a finger, so, you know, you would kind of test, like, and then kind of see how they would raise or treat me or punish me. And it was more like, okay, why are you acting out? What is going on? Okay, I see that you're upset. You want to talk about it so we can get over this? You know, kind of like a lot of talking and being open rather than punishing and shutting me up. And so I also really appreciated that. And so that kind of is a way where I learned how you're able to actually open up your kid and create trust, because I actually really respect my step parents that I've had and the additional adults in my life, where they taught me a different way of interacting and raising a child and feeling comfortable enough to be
I had
open.
the total opposite though. I'll just beat you regardless. And then they could do it as long as, you know, they explained it to my mom. And she agreed that I was, you know, a bad child. And she was like, all right, cool. And then she would give me a beating too. It takes a village to raise a child. And that's how it is with Haitians. But I definitely know somebody would have raised their hand on my child like we're swinging. Like, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
So, but definitely, I know Haitians, I'm not sure if Dominicans did it, but they would kind of put them on their knees and have them face the corner for a couple hours. I had that.
Yeah, so the thing with me is, like I said, my parents were born and raised here. I believe my parents had to go through that, but since they were already Americans, and when they had me, and at 16 and 19 years old, it was a lot different. It was more spanking and hittings, and the only one I remember from all of it was in the car with my mom, and she got really upset at me. I don't remember the situation or what happened at the end or what caused it, but we were in the car and my mom got upset at me, and she stuffed my face to the window, like slammed it, and was yelling at me. And yeah, it was pretty bad. So it was more like you're fighting someone, except I was weak and couldn't fight back. And I was this little twig, like skinny, couldn't defend myself kind of twig. And I couldn't say anything, and I couldn't do anything back. And then when I was asked, I didn't know what to say, and then I got in trouble even more. So it was like, my punishments were more like fight for your life kind of punishments, rather than the typical Dominican punishment upbringing.
But I wanted to ask, how do you deal with your children now, given with the whole backgrounds that we have?
So it can be hard, especially in the moment. I have a boy and a girl. The girl, let's say, she just throws a fit and she's like, I want to play with the car. And I was like, well, there's other cars you can play with. Why don't you grab the other cars? And I'll show her, I'll give her options, and she's, you know, whether she wants it or not. If she doesn't want it, I'm like, well, I'm sorry, you're just gonna have to deal with it. And the hard part is letting them cry, throw their fit, and being upset, and just dealing with all this screaming and stuff.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm not the one. I'm really not the one.
That is the hard part, is giving them a few moments to deal with that. And if they don't calm down, what I've done is put them in timeout. And I'm like, all right, well, if you're gonna cry and you're gonna, you know, act this way, then you're going to timeout, because there's absolutely no reason for you to be crying. There's other toys for you to play with, or, you know, he wants to play with you, so you can't take it away, or, you know, you can just sit and let him play and wait till he's done. And if none of those options are working, then it's timeout. And if once they come out to timeout and they're not done, then it's kind of, you gotta go to your room and be by yourself doing nothing. And, you know, then they kind of get the idea after a couple of times of doing that. They're like, well, I don't want to go to my room. I want to play. So then they start, you know, their little minds start working. They're like, I don't like when this happens. Another thing that I've done is the counting. So this one is a bit harder to establish, I feel, for myself. But counting down. So once you get to 3, the idea is that they're in trouble and now
that beating is coming.
Yes. But if avoiding the beating and using a sense like my son's favorite toy is Baymax from Big Hero 6. And let's say it's time to put on clothes so that we can go outside. And he is just fighting me on the whole thing and won't put on his clothes and just will run away and no. So then I have to count. I go 1, 2, and you know, once you get to 3, the idea is something is going to happen. I'm going to get in trouble. And so instead of putting fear physically, I go, I will take Baymax away if I have to count to 3. And then he doesn't want to lose Baymax, so then he's like, okay. And then if I ever have to get to 3, because let me tell you, those kids will test you and they will see what you're going to do. They will. And he has done it, and I have to take Baymax away and I put him in timeout to show him that he needs to listen. If you obey, you don't lose anything. Like, you gain the toy, you get clothes, we go outside, we have fun. If you don't listen, then that's when you start losing. You don't have the toy, you go in timeout, we lose time, we don't go outside. Like, then he starts to realize. And little kids are really smart. And so instead of talking to them like little kids, like, okay, you did this, like acting like a little kid, you talk to them like little adults, they will start to understand the words. They will understand.
Over you too.
Oh yes, kids are smarter than you think.
I've been saying that from the get-go. Like, they're grown adults.
They are.
Mentally.
They really are. And you're dealing with a kid and they're trying to talk their way out of punishment or testing your limits. They understand. They know. They understand. They work the system to their advantage.
The difference between what we grew up with and what you're doing, what I most likely will do too, is I know back in the day it was just more instilling respect. Like, okay, I'm the adult.
Yeah.
You're the child. There's a barrier here, and you need to understand what's going on. Two, you just need to understand where the child's coming from. Mm-hmm. And why they did it, instead of just beating them like right off the bat. I didn't like that. I know there were times when my mom didn't even let me speak. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm just gonna get this beating and call it a day. So I'm definitely going to, I guess, talk to her. If I got the patience, I'll do that.
The good thing about it is you get to grow into it. And sometimes I feel we forget that we actually, because it starts as an infant and then grows to a baby and then gets to a toddler and turns into a child, we grow with the baby. So we're actually able to learn, and so you can actually learn the patience when the baby is a baby. When they're learning how to crawl, you know, you have to be patient with them and pushing them and encouraging them. And even then it could start then where like, okay, I have to take like 20 minutes and just be with the baby and helping her crawl, you know, and teaching her. And it's gonna seem weird and like it's not teaching you patience, but in those moments you're learning how to take time to be with her and to learn and to help her in her development. So.
Well, thanks for that. This was very insightful. Hopefully I don't, touch her or anything.
Well, you know, the occasional hand slapping. Like, I told you not to touch that. You know, sometimes it's necessary.
Back of my hand's gonna be hot, like, and ready. For real. Feel free to place down in a comment on what you grew up with and how you were beaten back in the day, or if you have children, how you plan on disciplining them, or how do you do your own thing. And stay tuned for my next video. I definitely got a new diaper bag, so I'm gonna do a review on that. And don't forget to like and subscribe and stay tuned. Toodles!